Welcome again to the HRQ Leadership Lounge, the podcast where we explore what it really takes to lead with purpose, impact, and authenticity. A podcast where we unpack timeless lessons that grow the leader within. I'm your host, Coach Abby. In today's series, we explore self-leadership, the discipline of guiding yourself before you guide others. It's the quiet strength behind confidence, the structure beneath success. Because every great leader you admire, at some point, had to learn how to lead themselves first. Every now and then, I think about the kind of leader people become when no one is watching. Not the boardroom version, not the perfectly curated executive profile, but the person who has to wake up, look in the mirror, and decide who they're becoming. That's the heart of self-leadership. And honestly, it's where every meaningful leadership journey begins. Today, we're diving into something that feels simple at first glance, maybe even obvious, but shapes everything from how you show up at work to how you build a life you're proud of. Self-leadership. So what is self-leadership really? If you ask most leaders about their priorities, they'll tell you about their team, their strategy, their KPIs. Very few start with themselves. But I think, quietly, every leader knows that the hardest person to lead is the one sitting in their own shoes. Self-leadership is the art of choosing your direction, your behavior, your mindset, before the world chooses it for you. It's not loud, it's not glamorous. It's that subtle discipline of saying, I'll be intentional about who I'm becoming, not just what I'm achieving. Now let's look at the core pillars of self-leadership. Think of them as anchors for days when leadership feels like balancing a spinning plate on a moving train. Number 1, self-awareness. That honest check-in. What am I feeling right now? Why am I reacting this way? What story am I telling myself? Leaders who skip this stage end up managing symptoms instead of sources. Number 2, personal accountability. This one stings a little, because it means no more hiding behind the team or the environment or the deadline. It's the quiet courage of saying, I contributed to this and here's what I'm doing about it. Number 3, personal vision. Not the corporate vision on a glossy slide. The vision about who you want to be 5 years from now. The kind of leader your future self will thank you for shaping. Number 4, emotional regulation. This is the one most people pretend they mastered. Truth is, it's a lifelong skill. Leading yourself means learning how to pause, breathe, and respond instead of react. Number 5, self-motivation. That inner engine that keeps running even when applause stops. It's the quiet ability to get back up again. When we talk about everyday expressions of self-leadership, it's not always big moments. It shows up in choosing clarity over people-pleasing, showing up prepared instead of winging it, setting boundaries even when it feels awkward, admitting you don't know, then going to learn, apologizing quickly, not defensively, and sometimes choosing rest over hustle because that's what sustainable leadership looks like. These small decisions create leaders others trust. I think one of the misconceptions about self-leadership is that people assume it's a destination. It isn't. It's a rhythm. Some days you nail it. Other days, well, those days where everything you planned flies out the window? Before we wrap, I want to pull out a few lessons I've seen again and again in leaders who genuinely embody self-leadership. Different industries, different personalities, but the patterns show up almost the same way. 1, they practice empathy like a habit, not a performance. You can feel it in how they listen. They pause, they pay attention, they adjust. It's not soft. It's strategic. Empathy gives them access to information others miss. 2, they stay curious longer than most people think is reasonable. These leaders read, ask questions, seek feedback, wander into new ideas. It's almost childlike, really. Curiosity keeps them adaptable in a world that changes faster than our job title. 3, they embody the culture they want to create. Not perfectly, but consistently enough that people start to mirror them. They model transparency, or accountability, or pace, or calm. People believe culture when they can see it. 4, they are brutally honest with themselves. The strongest leaders I've met talk openly about their blind spots. They'd rather confront the uncomfortable truth early than let it grow into a crisis later. Self-awareness isn't an event for them. It's a lifestyle. 5, they keep a personal vision that anchors them. Not a 5-year corporate plan. A meaningful sense of who they want to be. That inner compass shows up in the way they make decisions, manage pressure, and bounce back from setbacks. These are the leaders who build trust without trying to impress anyone. They lead from the inside, and somehow that steadiness ends up elevating everyone around them. Leaders who live this way don't need to announce their influence. People feel it in their presence. So maybe today, before you open that next email or jump into your next big meeting, pause for a second and ask yourself, what's one small way I can lead myself better today? Because the real transformation you're hoping to create out there starts with that quiet decision in here. Remember, the greatest leader you'll ever follow is the one you're still becoming. Thank you for tuning in to the HRQ Leadership Lounge. Until next time, keep leading from the inside out. And hey, if this conversation stirred something for you or nudged you to think a little differently about how you lead yourself, do us a favor. Subscribe, like, share it with another leader who might need the reminder today. Your small action might be exactly what helps someone else take their next step.